very latest weekend headlines for you now, with the ITV News.
Hopes rise that peace talks could end the US-Iran war. Vice President JD Vance jets in to join the discussions as talks tonight continue. His boss says a deal is still possible.
They've been meeting for many hours, as you probably have noticed, and so let's see what happens. Maybe they make a deal, maybe they don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Artemis 2 crew.
Also tonight, hours after splashing down from space, the crew of Artemis speak for the first time.
When you're out there, you just want to get back to your families and your friends. It's a special thing to be a human, and it's a special thing to be on planet Earth. Thank you.
And I Am Maximus wins the Grand National for a second time.
This is ITV News with Becky, Jago.
Good evening. Talks between the United States and Iran aimed at ending the now 6-week-long war between the two countries are continuing tonight. This evening, President Trump said America was in deep negotiations with Iran and suggested a deal was possible despite several remaining issues. Discussions are said to be still going on deep into the early hours of the morning in the Pakistan capital, Islamabad. Mahathir Pasha has the latest.
It was a warm welcome for US Vice President JD Vance in Islamabad this morning as he arrived for high-stakes peace talks with Iran. The cameras captured Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif providing an equally welcoming reception to the Iranian delegation. But it was behind closed doors that the US and Iran, foes for almost half a century, began directly engaging. Now it's the turn of the diplomats, said this Iranian spokesperson. Diplomacy and defense are two sides of the same coin. God willing, with the prayers of our good people, we hope to emerge from this stage with honor as well. Key sticking points in these talks will include Iran demanding an end to sanctions and an end to Israel's continual attacks on Lebanon. The Israeli military says it has struck over 200 sites, which it claims are connected to Iranian ally Hezbollah in the last 24 hours alone. Since this round of strikes began on the country, over 2,000 people have been killed, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. As rescuers continue to search through the rubble in Beirut, days after a strike, hopes of finding survivors are waning. If there's a possibility that a person is still there, it's a strong possibility the person could be underneath the collapsed slabs. The US, meanwhile, insists Iran must stop its nuclear enrichment program and ease its chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for a fifth of the world's oil.
They've been meeting for many hours, as you probably have noticed. Regardless what happens, we win. We've totally defeated that country. And so let's see what happens. Maybe they make a deal, maybe they don't.
After 6 weeks of war, getting to this stage has not come easy. The fortnight-long ceasefire that paved the way for these talks in Islamabad itself was precarious for two countries whose enmity has spanned decades. But for now, they are at least talking, and the talks are lasting longer than many had expected. Mahathir Pasha, ITV News.
Well, our international editor Emma Murphy is in the Iranian capital, Tehran. She says the fact that talks have lasted so long should be taken as a positive sign.
So a day of historic and hugely consequential talks. This was the first time since the founding of the Islamic Republic in 1979 that such a high-level American delegation has sat in the same room as the Iranian government officials. So we know that JD Vance, the vice president, has led the American negotiations, assisted by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. They met with the leader of Iran's parliament, Mohammad Khalibaf, as well as Abbas Arajki, who is the foreign minister. Those talks went on for a number of hours and then were passed on to the technical teams. Those technical teams are the money men, the military men, the people who know about the sort of technical details about weaponry, so that they can try and find some understanding, some acceptance, or downright objections and rejection of the situation. It's not entirely clear how things have moved on, but the fact that these conversations have taken place at all is significant because, of course, it determines whether or not this country returns to war. It'll determine also whether or not the global economy stands a fighting chance of getting back into some kind of decent shape, given what's gone on in the Middle East and the chokehold that the Iranians have put on the Strait of Hormuz. It is still very difficult to predict where this has gone, but the fact that they've gone on at all is at least positive in terms of trying to find some way forward in this situation.
Emma Murphy in Tehran. In the last hour or so, the crew of the Artemis mission to the moon and back have been speaking for the first time since returning to Earth. Now home and dry after splashing down in the Pacific, Commander Reed Wiseman tonight said the mission was the most special thing he'd ever been through in his life. Graham Stoffard reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Artemis 2 crew.
A triumphant return from space. 4 astronauts who've tested the limits of human possibility. Now on stage at NASA's Houston home, enjoying well-deserved applause.
We are bonded forever. And no one down here is ever going to know what the 4 of us just went through. Like, before you launch, it feels like it's the greatest dream on Earth. And when you're out there, you just want to get back to your families and your friends. It's a special thing to be a human, and it's a special thing to be on planet Earth. Thank you.
Traveling 34,800 feet per second.
This was the moment they returned. The Orion craft re-entering Earth's atmosphere at 30 times the speed of sound. After splashdown, a quick transfer to a waiting US ship. On board, their smiles betraying feelings of joy, maybe relief to be home. A place they've a new appreciation for.
There's one new thing I know, and that is planet Earth. You are a crew.
The gratitude of seeing what we saw, doing what we did, and being with who I was with, it's too big to just be in one body.
The images of their journey will find their way into the history books. Memories of a more than 250,000-mile push into deep space, around the moon and back.
And a big welcome home.
This may be the last leg of their journey, but there'll be a new Artemis mission in 2027. Made possible by these 4 who did it first. Graham Stoffard, ITV News.
In other news, a 19-year-old woman has died after a dog attack in Essex. Police found the victim with serious injuries after being called to a home near Dunmow late last night. A 37-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of being in charge of a dangerously out-of-control dog causing death. It's the second death from a dog attack in as many days. Police in Northern Ireland say they're prepared in case fuel price protests taking place in the Republic of Ireland spread across the border. Hundreds of petrol stations have run dry after farmers blocked access to a major oil refinery. And Eamon Holmes is recovering in hospital after suffering a stroke last week. GB News, where he currently works, said he's responding well to treatment. Eamon has requested privacy while he focuses on his recovery. In the Grand National at Aintree, I Am Maximus became a 2-time winner after a thrilling race, which saw the bookies' favourite come from behind to win on the final stretch. It gives trainer Willie Mullins his 3rd consecutive victory in the race. The first time that's happened since 1955. Chris Scudder was watching.
Liverpool in spring means only one thing. Many dressed to the nines and hoping a big favourite could become the first horse since legendary Red Rum to regain the National.
I'm Maximus. He's got a really good chance. I am Maximus. Well,
it was turned out as well. It's nice, isn't it? It was meant to be rain. I was like, but it turned out good at the end.
Aintree was a picture as horses and jockeys got one last look at those daunting fences. For some, it was very brief. Willie Mullins, Irish hopeful Grange Clare West, lost his rider at the first, but up ahead, another of the Mullins stable was about to achieve greatness. By the last fence, Ben Jones on board. Jordan's led the way and looks set for glory. But the Grand National is a place where legends are made, where racing immortality for the greats is assured. And just like Red Rum half a century ago, I Am Maximus, despite carrying the top weight in the handicap, came storming through to win. First 2 years ago, second narrowly last year, now another famous victory under jockey Paul Townend.
He galloped to the end of the world for you. Privileged to have had to do it. And what a horse.
A Grand National double for I Am Maximus and Paul Townend. And for Willie Mullins, another great landmark. He's become the first trainer for 71 years to win the National 3 times in a row.
It's the race you grow up wanting to win and wanting to be part of. Just to have a run at it is a tremendous sensation.
And what price I Am Maximus returning next year to match Red Rum's unprecedented 3 Grand National victories. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
Some football now, and in the Premier League, a major blow to Arsenal's title hopes as they suffered a shock defeat at home by Bournemouth. Alex. Finally in Augusta, it's shaping up to be a thrilling final day at this year's Masters. Shane Lowry stormed up the leaderboard and hit the shot of the day with this hole-in-one at the 6th to put him right in contention heading into tomorrow's final 18 holes. It's been far from vintage from defending champion Rory McIlroy, though. He's blown what was a record 6-shot lead after 2 rounds. He's now co-leading the tournament, although he's still to finish his round. McIlroy's poor round has opened the door for American Cameron Young, who's carded a remarkable 8 birdies today to join McIlroy at the top of the leaderboard. And that's all for tonight. The national and local weather forecasts are coming up next, but from all the team here, good night.